Coming soon to this theater.
Party time! Ow! It's the rocking, shocking, new wave of horror. Howling 2.
Dreams again, howling.
Howling 2. It's not over yet.
I can never get that song out of my head after I hear it. Howling since the world began. Welcome back to the second segment of the Drive-In Asylum late movie. Or is it the third? It's really the third.
Who can say?
Who can say? Well, what did you think?
I love it.
I love that movie more and more every time I see it. So this was no exception.
Do you know there was supposed to be a real big eye gorge eating scene there? They kind of cut it a little bit, but there's a rumored. I started the rumor.
Once the rumor gets started, the truth
Doesn't matter.
A thing of the past.
Got a life of its own.
Once the rumor spreads, I think. Well, yeah, I did hear about that eye gouging scene, and apparently the footage doesn't even exist anymore. You know, by now they would have inserted it back in. A lot of that violence never appeared in the original print, especially when it was "Don't Open the Window." A lot of that stuff was cut out.
Really?
It's depressing. Some people are so puritanical.
I was pushing their views on other people.
Like that policeman. Hello.
Product of its time.
What was his problem?
The next generation asserting itself.
Nobody
likes the generation after it.
He got what he asked for. He wanted him to come back so he could shoot him again, and he got exactly. It was like an EC Comics ending.
Wow, Dustin had never seen it. We forgot to ask if this was going to be a first watch for anybody, so I'm glad
What'd you think?
there were some. Yeah, Dustin, what are your thoughts? Steve said, it looks like
on my
Steve.
phone the whole time. It's a little slow.
Steve might have been watching it for the first time. So he said it was fucking wild. Absolutely. This movie sort of surprised me the first time I saw it. It used to be hard to find this. Sam showed his new Blu-ray in the first segment, and I'm glad everybody has access to this movie now. But at one point, even before the Anchor Bay.
Uh-oh. What he was going to say was super.
Anchor Bay put it out.
Just
Bill's
stopped him
been
in his
having some
track.
power issues, so his power may have blinked out again. What's
It's a
his
great
Uncle
picture
Bill?
of him, though. It's not a bad photo.
Yeah. No, it's a great photo of him. He's holding court.
He's not like cheating or anything, you know.
No.
Justin
Good.
loved it. Upset that I haven't watched it 30 times by now. Aw.
I have the Anchor Bay DVD to give away. That should be a giveaway. I should have done a giveaway on this show. I'm not prepared, but I guess I just got the new one, so now I got to get rid of the old one.
Where you gonna go with it?
Yeah. Where am I going to go? When's Bill coming back? There's just
Bill.
2 windows now. We could disappear at any moment. That's how life is.
That's how life is. Enjoy
Yeah.
what we got while we got it. Bill was great. I loved Bill.
Yeah. I'll miss him.
You got a favorite Bill memory you want to tell quick?
Yeah. We had he used to throw really good Halloween parties. And we had one, and he was playing like all sorts of crazy DJ stuff, and we watched The Child with no sound. That's the first time I saw it. Yeah.
I would love to go to a Bill Halloween party.
They were really wild, and the whole backyard would be really decorated too, with a lot of cobwebs and lights and stuff. They were really wonderful.
What happened? How did they dry up?
I think he moved from that house to his new house, and then kind of nobody goes anywhere anymore in the end times that we live in. So yeah, I think that's what it is. Now Bill and I just get together for New Year's every year. Definitely, we do that.
That's great. Where do you go to each other's houses? Or you go out?
He comes here for New Year's usually. There he is. He's back.
Oh, he's back.
I was just sharing Bill memories. We were eulogizing you while you disappeared.
Well, I hope I was well missed.
You were well missed.
Certainly were. It was a good picture you were frozen on.
The power's been going out here, and I don't know whether I should be nervous or not.
Don't open the window.
I'm glad the show continued, though, without me, considering I'm the host of this program here. I'm glad.
Sad truth, Bill. Get used to it.
I took some notes on the movie for you, Bill.
Anyway, what were we talking about?
I took some notes.
Don't open the window. What?
On the movie. Chloe Sevigny was really good as the heroine sister. So that she was real good.
She gave it to you in every scene. She really was.
She did. I think she got really dope sick looking really quick, though. Like one scene, she looked kind of normal. The next scene, you see her eyes, she looks like the Undertaker. Her eyes were like.
What happens when you don't take the dope?
Yeah. The dope hits you quick in England.
She definitely had time to slip in her Marilyn Manson contact lenses.
She did. And the, what do you call it? She had to be rich, her and her husband, because they had a waterfall on their property. Like, who has a waterfall? Much less.
All that art.
Yeah, and a ton of art. She wasn't upset at all. Like a zombie was attacking him. She was like, let's see what happens. Let's just chill out. Right. Like, let's not rush.
Could help.
Let's not rush. Yeah. Let's see how this turns out.
Let's not be too hasty.
Yeah.
Get the house.
I really do want to get back to that smack that I've been lighting up.
Oh, she was hopeless. Her intervention failed.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what this whole movie was about. Ray Lovelock wanted to go to a antique store, and her sister came to give an intervention. The whole movie's about her sister being a shitty driver. There were numerous moments of her scraping cars, hitting bikes. if she knew how to drive better, would we be in this mess? Ray Lovelock would have been gone. He would have never turned into a zombie.
Mm-hmm. Carried on, right on his way.
On his way, he'd be selling that African titty god to somebody else.
Yeah.
Whatever he took in the beginning.
One creepy thing about the zombies in this movie is they still have a sentient nature, and they have cunning. They can, play dead when they have to. And Ray Lovelock had a vengeance that continued beyond the grave. That was interesting.
He could still find people. Like, he found her in the hospital super easy, and he was like, you know what? I got a feeling that this is where he's staying. Like, he still had some intelligence even after his death.
Mm-hmm.
So
he graduated in the top of his class.
It's Zombie U. The other thing I wrote down was at the end, whenever they went back to the Owl Hotel, I think Uncle Spooky pointed out the owl was spelled O-L-W instead of owl, which was funny. And also, the Owl Hotel had a really old owl that looked like my old cat Norris that died. It was just like an old moldy owl, just sitting
Norris.
there going, "Murr." These zombies get along better and work. They know how to use tools and
teaming.
Yeah.
The human beings didn't know how to work together. That's one thing you said, Uncle Spooky, while we were watching it, is they needed to work together to escape the zombies. The elevator scene, especially.
Split right up.
Yeah.
That move. She was like, bye, trying to get in that elevator.
I also like that he threw her into the fire, and he was like, well, sorry, you're no.
No, it's not going to work out. No, it was right after she kissed him. Like, she finally made her move on him, and he was like, I don't think so.
He's like, I got something to tell you.
There's some fire for you.
Yeah. We discussed throughout the movie, is Ray Lovelock's character straight or not? And I think you guys all know.
The ending proved it.
Yeah.
So Bill is...
Nora still hasn't forgiven Uncle Spooky for Damnation Alley.
Still talking about it, though.
Yeah.
Cockroach scene.
I want to cut out the entirety of the movie out except for the cockroach scene and just sell it as a cockroach movie. And it's very short. The end.
Cockroach Road.
I haven't seen it. I guess so. It doesn't hold up. Is that what you're telling me? I haven't seen it in a while.
No, Sean. The heartbeat sound on the intro is something else. I sampled a couple of them. One of them is from Blowout. That's the one of the heartbeats that plays at the beginning. But the one that plays over the intro of the show is something else. It's a sound effects record. I don't even remember what it was from.
You lifted it.
Here's some interesting things that I found. I found these lobby cards online. This is a scene I always forget about, but I was watching closely to see if this was actually in the film, because I didn't remember it, but now I do. And they're eating the body of the mortician, the unfortunate mortician that opened the drawer for that zombie with the bandage on his head and the other ones.
Wow.
That's a great picture. Oh, her with the boobie out.
Yeah.
That's a great shot.
Again, that scene where they kill the nurse and rip her apart, it really is not in the R-rated cut of Don't Open the Window. But they must have shown this. I mean, there was a lobby card, right? They couldn't lie and lure you into the movie promising to show you something they don't show.
No, they wouldn't do that.
Look at her cup of tea sitting there.
Very British.
Poor thing. What was she even talking about on the phone? She's like, don't like her. Don't like her very much either.
Ooh, what's going on there?
That's a headshot where they hit the doctor in the head with the axe right by the elevator. But it's not that splattery in the actual film, so I don't really know what this is. Maybe there was a more gory version of that axe strike that never made it into a finished version of the film that we've been able to see.
That axe wound on his head was pretty good, though.
Yeah. I like that doctor just let Ray Lovelock just do shit at the hospital. He has no idea who he is. Like, doctors are way more trusting than cops. They're like, could you hold this baby while I shoot it up with something? And walk around. I want to show you some stuff. And, oh, yeah, I'll come to a crime scene with you. Or, go look at that machine with you. The cop totally was like, yeah, this is great. I like hanging out. So,
I love that the guy's holding down the baby as he's giving the shots. Did you just say that?
Yeah.
Sorry.
He's just like, go ahead and hold this baby.
Hold down this baby while I give it shots.
Everybody else has a mask and surgical gear on so that the babies don't get any illnesses, but you're wearing a leather jacket. Go ahead.
Blood-smeared baby hands.
So this brings up something that I wanted to share. Let's watch this brief TV spot for Don't Open the Window.
A quiet ride in the country turning into a nightmare of horror. Get ready for a meal you will never forget. Break bread with the living dead. Feel your flesh pull away when they scream for food. Think, don't open the window. Whatever's out there will wait.
I love that.
So I don't know if you guys noticed, but there was some language in there that suggests that TV spot was actually for Breakfast at Manchester Morgue.
Yeah.
And what was the giveaway?
Break bread with the living dead. And what else did they say, Sam?
Yeah, that's when I got to break bread with the living dead.
Get ready for a meal you'll never forget. And it said something about them screaming out for food. So
What's
this was
funny that the breakfast at Manchester Morgue is the opposite of Night of the Living Dead. You would eat breakfast in the morning. So again, predating Dawn of the Dead.
They tried to get there first.
They're like, we think this is
Don't open the window event.
Oh. There's a lot of windows getting opened. Yeah, Lee, I agree with you.
That was the problem. They opened the window. They didn't read the script.
Do you got a favorite scene?
Bill?
Sam, you go first.
Oh, boy. I mean, other than the speech in the store, that's my favorite scene. I forget that he says Heil Hitler at the end of it. That makes it even funnier. I kind of like the ending with it, the kind of like little button at the end there where Ray Lovelock comes back and crunches up the cop. That's pretty cool.
Yes. I love the scene where he's trying to get out the window and the zombies on the ladder and he's pulling at his feet. That always gets me.
Yeah.
Those feet scenes.
Yeah, I don't like movies where feet are in danger.
I know.
There's a lot of good suspense in this movie, and that's one of them, Uncle Spooky, that you mentioned, where you can see Guthrie the zombie looming behind them. So, and you're like, no, turn around. So that was a really great sequence. My favorite part was the nurse scene, and because it just comes out of nowhere. Everything happens so fast at that point in the movie. It is a pretty slow burn, but once you get into that last half hour, shit starts happening.
So they crank it up. We got to wrap it up. And they rip the cop open to pieces. Oh, and the zombie in the underwear asking the doctor, asking him what?
The ecological angle on this always cracks me up too. That's one thing I forgot to mention on the first segment is that ad campaign that Hallmark Releasing came up with says they tampered with nature. Now they must pay the price. And this movie came out at the same time as Grizzly. It played in theaters with Grizzly. Not on a double bill that I could find, but it was simultaneous to the release of Grizzly, and other ecological horror films had come before it. So this was a new angle, I guess, that they had devised for this, the ecological angle.
Yes.
Well, I think a lot of people were thinking about that then. It was ripped from the headlines. If not zombies, the ecological problems of things definitely were. I really like the beginning we talked about with Beyond the Streaker, there were people wearing masks back in the 70s, and the pollution, like they really set up a lot of stuff really quick in the beginning of like just how bad the area was, and like so that kind of gets some of the ecological angle in too.
Was that Manchester that he was leaving in the beginning?
I thought it was London. He was leaving London for Manchester. But Manchester's a pretty rough section too. It's a lot like it looks a lot like Pittsburgh in the 70s. That's what Manchester looks like. They're very similar towns. So and beyond the Smiths being from there, the Cult and Black Sabbath are from there too. Just for the metal kids, there's some metal bands from there too.
That's right. Yeah. What other metal bands other than Black Sabbath?
I don't know. Let me look up what bands are from Manchester. I do know that Black Sabbath was from there because they would always talk about how Manchester looks. And I definitely knew the Cult because when they played here the last time, Ian mentioned that the lead singer that Pittsburgh looks a lot like Manchester, and he kind of thought of it as like his American home just because it reminded him so much of where he came from. Manchester bands list. What bands are from Manchester? Well, Herman's Hermits are from Manchester. So is Oasis, Bill.
Oh, God.
Yeah, Becca's sleeping. Don't make her mad. She'll wake up and yell at you about Oasis. Stone Roses, New Order, Joy Division, of course. Same thing. When in Rome, from there. 808 State. Take That.
Take That. Oh,
yeah.
God.
Future Sound of London.
Damn.
Yeah.
Uncle Spooky, when are you coming to Pittsburgh to visit us?
I don't know. I'm dying. I just met some fun Pittsburghians out there. And I heard all sorts of fun places. I heard you got a great tiki bar. So I'm dying to come.
You have to come out for a Monsterama sometime.
Is that, you guys stay the night, or you drive all the way there, you go and you drive back and forth?
We drive back and forth.
Yeah.
Drivers.
Yeah.
I know, it's crazy because even though we're in Pittsburgh, the event is about an hour from here. Well, Sam is closer, I think, than I am.
About 45 minutes, yeah, or so.
Well, that time of night, for a hotel room and have a party overnight.
Yeah. We did a couple of years ago. Back in I stayed, there's a place that right when you pull onto one of the roads, it looks like a old hotel from the 50s, and we stayed there a couple of years ago.
Once, and then you never did it again. What happened?
We keep saying we should do it again because it was a lot of fun. The other time we stayed is like the first year we had Cubby. We got a really nice bed and breakfast, and it had like we left Cubby at my brother's house, and my brother had never watched him, and Cubby had a nervous breakdown because he was away from Becca. We had to drive like an hour back to get him. Then I had to drive an hour back to the bed and breakfast. When I got there, after going down to the car, I got there, and there was this huge, like one of those big canopy beds, like those princess beds, and it looked beautiful. Walked in, and they were both sleeping. I was like, that fucking dog. And that's been my relationship with them ever since.
And you missed breakfast.
Yeah, so.
You missed breakfast at the Manchester Morgue.
Yeah, I did. The next morning I had to sneak Cubby out because we weren't allowed to have dogs, and then I brought him back sausage, and he ate a whole sausage. So it was a good day for him. Then he came the next night, and he's come to the drive-in ever since. As anyone knows that's been bitten by him, which is pretty much everybody. Chihuahuas really get separation anxiety too. They're super bonded with whoever they're with, and obviously Becca's the only person that Cubby really likes. So, yeah, literally, yeah, he tolerates me at best. So, but what can you do?
When's the bird thing?
Yeah.
When's this? When is it? The Munster thing?
Oh, September is the next one.
September
23rd and the 24th of September. Of course, it's a Friday and a Saturday, and both nights 4 Christopher Lee films. I know the ones that are playing, and so does Sam, but we're not allowed to say. But there are 3 that have so far been made public. The Wicker Man.
It's a hit.
What's that?
That's a hit. Play the hit.
Jess Franco's Count Dracula.
Mm-hmm.
And Curse of Frankenstein.
That's a good one. And then the 4th one is a mystery.
No, there's 5 more because it's both nights. Four movies each night.
Have you made it through all 4 of them?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
And then drove home?
Have we ever made it through all 4? You're a card, Uncle Spooky. Yes, of course we have.
Yep. We're machines. Not like watching Bat People at 4 a.m.
As the sun's coming up, and you're like,
"Oh, the Bat People are here."
The Bat People.
Bat People was one of my favorite movies that they ever showed there. That I finally got to see it. I never thought I'd get to see Bat People on the big screen.
Bat People, I never heard of it.
Oh boy.
Was it good? I mean, great. You know?
I say yes. I think Sam likes it.
It's a Bill movie. I like it. Not as much as Bill because it is a movie where not a lot happens. But
boys.
It's one of those kinds of movies. But last week we watched a movie called Blood Mania, one of the last weeks that we did this show. And
I really liked it.
I consider it a movie where nothing happens, and Sam really liked that one. So
yeah, I come around pretty well on movies. But yeah, they're fun it's fun to go to the drive-in also and drink booze outside with everybody and get really drunk or whatever you're going to do during the movies and enjoy yourself. Usually it's really cold, so like I yearn for a time we go to the drive-in. The only time Bill and I have been to the drive-in when it was warm is we went to see The Car, and that
Christine.
was nice. And The Car and Christine. And during the end of The Car, a truck drove really fast over the bridge outside there, and it made a loud like noise, and everybody jumped at the same time. It was really awesome. So,
Darren, I'm up for that ride. I'm a lot of fun in a car.
Well, since you're a corpse, you don't need to sleep. But
But I do gotta lie.
Can you drive? Are you legally allowed to drive as a zombie?
Well, it's gonna keep your head down. Hope you don't hit nobody. So you don't gotta get out of the car and discuss.
It's never been an issue so far. I take it.
So it's so far, but that doesn't mean it's not gonna happen. I feel like this. I got one time I was getting driven to a gig, and the guy got into a big accident with this big truck, and I just kind of like he got out and yelled at the car, and I just kind of took out my phone. I was like, Uber, just waiting for the car to pull up. Good luck. Got that collateral silver. I got a bad one. I gotta go warm myself up behind it.
This 4th segment is a late one.
Oh,
it's actually the 2nd segment, Paul, but you'd never know that by the title on this video because once again I forgot to change it until I had already started the broadcast. So it still says we're doing the 1st segment.
But it's the 2nd, 4th, 3rd segment.
It's not the very 1st segment we did for the night. So, anything else about Don't Open the Window before we move on? Or
I'm glad that we watched it.
I liked it.
Way better than Cats.
How many times have you seen it now, Uncle Spooky?
I saw it the first time in the 90s when that guy brought it out of the Kim's video, which was like, I think that time nobody knew about this movie, and it felt very, very like myself as a zombie connoisseur back then, and I was like, I never heard of this one. It was a cool sound in the title, and so I watched it back then, and then I think I got a kidney stone that night and had a special guest over, and I didn't know it was a kidney stone, so I just had this crazy pain, like the stabbing pain in the side, and I didn't know what it was, but I was like, if I had to wake my guest up, and I was like, listen, I have to go. The ambulance is coming to pick me up. Could you return this videotape to me? The subway. So he went, and I got the movie, and I got a little kidney stone out of it, and it was a little better. And that was the first time I watched it. And I guess the second time was with my uncle, what do you call it? Not Uncle Spooky. Yeah, with the Zoomerama crew. Like not so long ago, like maybe 3 months ago. So I was very excited when I heard you were doing it and you didn't have a guest host. I could slide right in there.
What about if we wanted to watch your Zoom broadcast? When would those be?
I kind of put them on hold for a minute because I was doing Tuesday nights, but I got to prep so much for Fire Round that I got to like use Tuesday nights to kind of pull it all together. And I gave actually to what's our friend's name? Who's got a blog? He likes Friday the 13th, the series a lot.
Patrick.
So Patrick is doing Tuesday nights currently, and he probably has it for the summer. And then I might I was trying to maybe do a Monday or a Thursday, but so far I haven't been able to pull it together. So this is my first time on computer in a month.
Wow.
Thanks for having me.
I'm glad you were able to do the show tonight. It was a nice surprise.
Yeah.
Actor Horror Hound is doing sound. What? Plug time.
Face the Master, no award. Faith against faith. Can you do that?
Enjoy the old one till the new one comes out, because it ain't gonna be any good.
The new one's coming, right?
Yeah.
Third time.
Are you excited about it, Uncle Spooky?
I was looking up. Whenever I look at the cast, I'm like, so I don't know who's in this cast. A bunch of unknowns or people we know.
I don't know who's in it.
Right? I feel like the vampire is going to be like a suave guy. I don't know if they're going to do it like Barlow. We used to. So I don't know. I'm excited. I'll go see it, and I'll probably be disappointed.
William Sadler is going to be playing the vampire in it, which is kind of cool.
And who's he again?
He was Death in the Bill and Ted movies, and he was in what do you call it? Tales from the Crypt, Demon Knight. He's the kind of sort of hero in that movie.
So I hope they put a ton of makeup on him.
Yeah, they'll probably CGI him up and say.
Nora's in the YouTube chat, so she can't see the people that are talking on Facebook. By the way, I'm sorry.
Hello, Nora.
I try and put YouTube comments up on the screen more frequently, though, because I know those people can't see the other Facebook chatters.
Yeah,
those people.
Those viewers.
Oh, man.
This is not a politically incorrect moment.
Yeah. When have we ever had those?
Hey, look who's here.
Oh, Vivi.
It's Vivi. Well, she was sleeping, so she
was very tired.
Yes.
Oh,
she does.
2:30 a.m. She's sleepy.
Oh my God, what a good puppy.
She looks like Leatherface. It's time to take her to the dog groomer. Nora says, hi, everyone.
Hi, Nora.
Darren has a point, Uncle Spooky. I was admiring your game at having your guests return your videotape.
No, it's pretty. I knew other people would want to watch it. I didn't know if I was going to my doom. Yeah. I was like, listen, guys, I hit a wall, though. I got to go lay down.
I think it's time to let this corpse sleep.
Good night.
Surprise in, surprise out.
Goodbye.
Are you going to ghost us?
Yes. What am I going to do? All I got to do is hit this button right here, right? And then it's all over. You got a lot of fun.
That is all you do. And thank you so much for being on the show. It's always a blast. Oh, he's gone.
He's gone.
Short and sweet. Thank you, Uncle Spooky, for joining us. So, Sam, it's just you and I now.
It is. And a cast of people on the right talking about health food.
Oh, yes. Hi.
Hi, everybody. We're inside the video.
I saw those people, a couple people, Vince, Lee, they all swear by the colloidal silver. So.
And the Buckalooka honey.
Mm-hmm.
Like a honey ho. Like a Johnny ho. Hey, you know what? I wanted to try something on the show.
Yes.
If I may. Lee said earlier, no, you guys can talk about whatever you want. I'm excited to learn about health food stuff. All I do is drink and do drugs. So you know, what do I know?
Yeah, it's a legit topic.
Yeah. Hey, Lee had mentioned, wouldn't it be cool if everybody got to pick a movie? I would like to know if there is one movie that you would pick to see on the show. Just pick just one. Just say on the side, and that would be kind of cool, I think.
Yeah. While
you guys are thinking about that, I'll show you. I only got 3 movies in the mail this week. Flatliners, which is on UHD. Why is it? Does it deserve to be on UHD? Jury's out, right? I mean, I'm sure there are people that love Flatliners. Arrow put it out. The Righteous, which is pretty good. I just watched that. It's a black and white new movie, but it's in black and white, and it's kind of cool movie. And Hell High, which I have never seen, a slasher I haven't seen. How's this possible? Arrow put that out too. So that's some new stuff I got this week. And also the other movie that I got from Kino, which they have streaming, is Kamikaze Hearts, which I had never seen. Have you ever seen it, Bill?
No. I
really
saw
good.
your review of it, but I haven't seen it.
Yeah, it's about 2 adult stars from the 80s. One, Sharon Mitchell, was in the 70s too. She's pretty famous. I had always thought it was a documentary. It's not. It's a pseudo documentary, but it's also really more real than it should be. Like, they really did shoot up cocaine for the last scene. It's real good. I really liked it. So it's pretty intense in parts, and it's a good movie. So yeah. So anyways, looking on the side, see what people think. Yeah, and just pick one. Mike says Street Corner Justice with Mark Singer as a Pittsburgh cop named Mike. Wait, hold on a second. That's not a real movie.
That's not a movie.
Yeah, Night Watch from 1973 is what John mentioned. That's pretty cool. I picked my movie for next week, which you guys saw in the beginning. Howling 2 was my pick. Yeah, Nora said children should play with dead things, even though we already dealt with it in Malatesta's Carnival.
Yeah, we did both those movies. And there's so many movies. We haven't repeated one.
No, if you want to see, there is a letterbox list that has all the movies in it, so you can check against it. There's some pretty cool stuff there. I have a couple other ones that I'm dying to show too, but you got to balance it out. But Howling 2 is next, and I'm super jazzed for that. That's a late night movie next week.
Yeah, we're gonna just be a late show single feature next week.
Yeah,
again,
and we'll get it back together. Bill and I also have talked about what our next commentary, non-released commentary, the YouTube ones.
Yeah,
so we're working on that, and then we have another commentary that we're working on too.
Another paid gig. So
a paid gig, and I actually wrote the liner notes for another one this week, which I unfortunately can't talk about. But
I know,
yeah,
that's the hardest part because I want to tell people about it, but
yeah.
So yeah, look for that on the Groovy Doom YouTube channel sometime in the next month or so. I guess we'll get to it.
We'll get to it. This last week's been a little crazy. I was staying at my family's this week, so to help take care of my dad, and it was interesting being like it was like working 2 jobs because he gets up around 5 at night and then needs some taken care of. So it was interesting. I'm trying to load up my list of what movies I'm watching this week, and it's taking forever to load up. But I'll get that in a second. I was never a bartender. I actually was a bartender. I did bartend. I worked in an ad agency that had a restaurant in the basement, and occasionally at night they wouldn't have a bartender, and they would ask me to come down and serve bar. So I learned how to make bellinis there. So in this Italian restaurant, a bottle of red, a bottle of white. It was like a Billy Joel song. It was fucking crazy, Yeah.
Night Warning. That is definitely one that we have to do on the show sometime.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think it's on Tubi.
Yeah.
Didn't we talk about weren't we going to do that one weekend and then we didn't?
Yeah, we did talk about it once.
I like the slasher too, like Lee suggested. So
The
sweet,
slasher is
so
the Sex
dead.
Maniac.
I never miss a Mimsy Farmer film.
I love Mimsy Farmer. I really like the movie that Pink Floyd did the soundtrack for. I really like that movie. I watched it and someone was like, "Would you really get messed up on drugs from MC Farmer?" And yeah, I would, 100%. No problem at all. She's not really my type per se, but I dig her. You know? Yeah, Joe Bob just showed that and nobody liked it. Nobody has liked any of the movies. This season has been fucking pissing me off. Just the way that people aren't enjoying his rants and they didn't like the baby. So I was like, you know what? I don't like this at all.
I don't trust people that don't like the baby.
No, the baby's a torture test movie for me. It's like if someone can't hang with the baby, then they're not going to enjoy anything that I want to watch. You know?
None of the good shit, anyway.
None of the good shit.
Anybody can put on the Terminator.
Yeah, like, can't we just watch Goonies again? No, fuck you. We're not going to watch Goonies. Sorry.
Hey, yeah, we like it. It's good, but I mean, there's other good stuff too.
Yeah.
You know,
it's not the only movie that exists, right?
Yes.
This week, I just finished the week of spaghetti westerns. I'm still doing the Junesploitation thing this week, Bill. I got to tell you, my 2 favorite movies I watched last week. 3 favorite movies. I really like, well, a whole bunch, but I really liked Miami Golem. I don't know if anyone's seen that. That movie's goofy as fuck. It has David Warbeck in it, and it's about a baby from space and aliens, and it's real wild. I really dug it. And then The Eroticist, which is a Fulci movie that I had not seen, aka this has a really long title. The Senator Likes Women, but you're not supposed to know. It's a really wild movie because it's like a political, anti-Catholic sex comedy by Fulci. It's pretty good. And then Sinbad, the Canada movie, and holy shit, that movie's awesome. It's really good. And it's got a crazy story because Luigi Cosi wrote it, and Enzo Castellari was supposed to direct it. Cannon hated it, and after 4 years of it not being edited, they hired Luigi Cosi to edit it and put special effects in. They gave him like 5, and so that's how he decided to make like a framing sequence like Princess Bride, and Dario Nicoladini is in it reading the story to Cosi's daughter, and they shot it inside his apartment. It's a pretty weird movie. But it's great. It's really charming too. But it's supposed to be a kids movie, and it's full of like beheadings and a lot of really crazy gore. So it's pretty exciting. Next week or this week, I should say, starts at 7 a.m. tomorrow. All Mexican horror movies all week, and I was telling Bill in between, but I watched a new favorite movie this week, Deathbed, the bed that eats. And I had always thought this movie is going to be horrible, right? It's like, how's this going to be good? It's a billion times better than it has any right to be. It's a really good movie. It's like near. I get hyperbolic on it for a second, but it's like got moments of like art, and it's got moments of really stupid stuff, but it has moments of stuff where you're like, oh, this is actually like approaching like an art film. It's a really weird movie. And the story behind that movie is crazy too, where the director never even knew it was released. He had showed his print to a company in Los Angeles about getting credits added to it. He didn't have enough money to get credits made to it, so he could put it out on VHS. That company bootlegged it and sold it in Spain and the UK. And he had no idea and then he in like 2004 he was on a it disappeared.
He didn't disappear. We're still there.
Yeah, oh, but you know who is back? Naked HD XYZ, Tinder over price shit. Try us 18 plus is back. But anyway, 2004 he was on a message board and he was reading about, does anyone see this obscure movie called Deathbed? And he was like, yeah, I directed it. How did you see it? It's never been released. And they're like, oh, it's been on video here for years. So yeah, kind of blew his mind a little bit. But it's
That isn't very nice.
Yeah, this scene is fucking bonkers. That scene in the movie is really wild, and it's just, man, it is. It's got something to it. It's I really recommend it.
Oh, our sex videos are back on YouTube.
They are.
What?
They
Sex
are.
is not the end all be all, okay?
You know what? Have you noticed that the kids today are more puritanical than we are? That's kind of distressing.
I'm trying to get rid of these sex bots. I don't really believe that.
No, I don't. I don't like the bots. I was gonna say something else. There's a lot of cool shit coming up on Shudder too. I just got a bunch of new review stuff from them. There's some really cool stuff. There's a Guar documentary next month, which I saw already, which is pretty good. And there's just been enjoying a lot of movies. I'm starting a film fest next week too, so as if I don't watch enough movies.
Oh, is it the same one that I sent you?
I'm doing another one beyond that. I'm doing Chattanooga too, which is
Oh my
exciting.
God. You're actually doing the Pittsburgh one too?
Yeah, I'm doing the Pittsburgh one too.
Okay. Did you watch that movie Marvin yet?
I haven't watched it. I haven't started watching anything yet. I'm excited to.
Oh my God. There's this great movie on there called Marvin. This is on a film festival that Sam and I are both doing. And so this movie has not actually been released anywhere yet. But it's a total Mansion of the Doomed, Eyes Without a Face riff. And it's very cheaply made. It's like, you know, most of these films that I've been watching anyway have been shot on a camcorder or a phone, a digital camera. But it's really gruesome and good. It's about a doctor who keeps kidnapping people to cut their faces off and try and do a face transplant on his son, whose face looks like those creatures from Doom Watch, that movie from the 70s. It's like all puffed out and everything. And it's one of those like nihilistic freak out films. It's brilliant. It's called Marvin. Watch for
I'm excited about that one. There's the movie I'm super excited about for Chattanooga. I'm trying to look up one of the things they are doing at Chattanooga Film Fest, and you can buy tickets online to attend. But one of the really cool things I thought is there is going to be a Rhonda Shear appreciation, and she's going to be there live. It will be streamed out too, and it's all about Up All Night and Rhonda Shear. And then there's two slashers that are made by the same director. The Third Saturday in October Part 1 and the Third Saturday in October Part 5, and they're kind of like 80s throwback slashers. So it's pretty exciting.
Ooh.
Darren, if you like Canon, Austin Trunick, who wrote the Canon Film Guide, is going to be on the show in July, and we're going to show 2 Canon movies. Super excited. So I have an inkling that one of them is probably going to be a Canon movie we talked about a lot that rhymes with the apple. So maybe that'll probably be one of them. We'll see. But yeah, I love Canon.
Lee, it hasn't been released anywhere yet. I only got to see it because I'm doing this film festival where they got in touch with me and invited me to be a judge. I was like, sure, yeah, I'll do it. So they send you a link, and you know it's like a private link to watch this movie. But I'm sure it'll be out in some capacity sometime in the next year or so.
One of the other movies that's playing Chattanooga, and it played Fantastic Fest. And honestly, I don't know if it's ever going to play anywhere else because the copyright stuff on it's so weird. It's called Timekeepers of Eternity. And basically someone took that the Stephen King TV movie, The Langoliers, and they Xeroxed every scene from the movie, and they animated it as paper cutouts. It's fucking – I've seen it. It's only like 40 minutes long. Somehow they took a 3-hour TV movie and made it better by making it 40 minutes. And it's way more frightening than the original movie. And Bronson Pinchot was already nuts in that, and like they really pushed it. It's really weird to see somebody remix an existing movie that isn't well considered and make it actually a great movie through the editing they did. So that's also playing at Chattanooga, and that was a pretty cool movie. So I'm excited to watch it again, actually. So, but yeah, I think it's like 90 movies next week, but I'll get to the ones I can. I got to get through the Pittsburgh ones too, because I just literally got the link, I think, Friday afternoon to start watching stuff. So that'll be next. And I still have a ton of Mexican stuff to get to this week. And a lot of thanks. There's a couple of folks helped out on the show. They sent me some suggestions, so I appreciate it. I know David did. So there's some pretty wild stuff coming up this week. Which one? The Incredible Two-Headed Transplant. Yeah, that would be good too.
They showed that at the Monsterama one year too.
I missed it. I didn't get to see it. I would have loved to see it.
A standout film.
Oh, Bill, I watched a. I have to remember the name of it. I watched a really great Mexican movie this week that you're gonna love. I'm trying to remember the
Demonoid.
Well, Demonoid, always right. One of the Shudder movies, I should say, that I really liked. It's called Revealer, that comes up this week. That'll be up. I think it's up Tuesday, but it's a pretty interesting movie. It's about a religious zealot and a stripper who are trapped in a peep show booth during the apocalypse. It gets pretty weird. La Muñeca Perversa, the perverse doll. It's a movie about, oh man, Bill, it's like a Psycho Biddy movie with like 10 psycho women in it. It's about it starts where the whole family goes to the grandmother's funeral. And when they come back, the daughter says, somebody poisoned our grandmother. And like everybody starts fighting with each other, right? So all the men decide to go to the police and get an autopsy done. While that's happening, the women all start getting killed. And it looks like natural causes, but it isn't. One of them's doing it. So it kind of turns into like an Agatha Christie thing, but they're all like crazy. It's like nonstop freakouts. It's really good. And it has an insane ending. If you saw, I always say, like, you know, if you liked, but who saw it, right? Poison for the Fairies, which is a mid 80s Mexican horror movie, which is a really good movie. It's kind of like what's the movie about the twins from the 70s that was based on the book The Other? Is that it?
Yeah.
It's kind of like, imagine if The Other was about two little girls who both want to be witches and do crazy stuff. They're all nuts. That's what I love, because like Mexican horror movies, and we're doing a podcast about it pretty soon. Mexican horror movies like start as like Universal ripoffs in the 30s, 40s, 50s. Then there's like the lucha movies, and then they get nuts. Like either they're about scientists who kidnap women and like want to put apes' brains in their heads, which is like there's like 20 of those, right? Or they turn into like this really wild like Mexican gangs fighting. It's always like gangs fighting like an old sheriff, but they get super gory with like chainsaws and stuff. Or they're like wild gothic freakouts, and like also because the country is so ultra Catholic, there's like this weird undercurrent or overcurrent in some that gets really wild, where there's like always like a priest or something. There's a really great one where the shaman gets killed and curses the town by turning into a werewolf after his death. And the priest sells all the church's money to buy silver bullets, and the werewolf responds by eating his head. It's real awesome. So I'm super excited about that.
Night of the Bloody Apes had a little bit of brain transplant and a little bit of lucha in it.
Yeah, it did. And you know what? He remade that movie like 10 times. He was like, it was like his like.
I would too.
Oh, it's so good though. It's like, this movie's great. Like it's got, female luchadors and apes and brain transplant and a real heart surgery. It really, I just got it on, it's on the same disc as Batwoman that VCI put out. And they put out a really nice, and if you have any interest in Santa movies, they're all on Tubi right now. And there's like 8 of them, and they're from the VCI reissues. I've never seen these movies look this clean. I'm used to watching the battered ones. Most of my Mexican movies have come from going to Mexican grocery stores and buying like $1 and $2 DVDs out of bins, or like getting them off eBay like that. And now that, people are starting to put this stuff out, it's really cool.
No, Jeffrey, there's no movie coming now. We're winding down, and then we're going to sign off soon. I'm
going to watch another movie, but,
Because you punished yourself. No wonder you fell asleep while you were watching the movie.
I know. Ship of Monsters, Vince, is really good. That was up on the site before. I Ship of Monsters a lot. El Vampiro, the sequel to Vampiro. There's a lot of 50s ones. El Castillo de los Monstruos.
Invasion of the Vampires.
Invasion of the Vampires is up this week too. Yeah. So I really try to hit a good mix between the 50s ones, the 80s VHS era, which I really like, and a couple closer to modern ones. But I kind of got snowed a couple times on the modern ones because there's a lot of like religious releases that are made as like horror movies, and then they have like a message at the end. I'm not looking for a message. I'm looking for craziness, right?
Like a Kirk Cameron film or something.
I'm not looking for Bible Man. But I mean, if you like that, that's fine. Someone asked me to review their movie this week, and like, you realize that it's a faith-based movie, and I was like, okay, I'm not I am a heathen, but I can't review your movie. Like, I'm not like, I'll still give it a fair shake. But anyway, I'm really excited about that. And then the week after this is the week Bill's really excited about. It's eco horror, so a lot of eco horror coming up. I promised to watch a lot of movies where alligators eat people. And I got, I think, all movies with female protagonists the week after that, which is pretty exciting, right? A lot of Cynthia Roth, a whole week of Cynthia Rothrock. How about that? That's pretty much what it is. Bill, if you've ever noticed in Pittsburgh, there's Rothrock Kung Fu. There's a lot of those studios. There's one in Southside. That is named for Cynthia Rothrock. That's her ex-husband. And then she went off to do Godfrey Ho and Kung Fu movies in the 80s and 90s. Now she's in Fredo and Ray Christmas movies. Who knew? She plays Mrs. Claus in one of his Christmas movies, and she has purple hair. And it's
she's an actress, a character actress. She can do this role any way you want.
She could kick over your head. It's like Van Damme. That's my favorite part, by the way. The interview about Cannon this week is that Cannon got to a point where they started believing their own stories. And even though Van Damme had been in like 3 of their movies, Menahem Golan would tell everybody, "Oh, I met him when he was a waiter, and he brought me turtle soup, and he kicked over my head as he handed me the turtle soup." Who would do such a thing? It was pretty exciting. So, I'm there's a whole another second Cannon month coming out in August with, and it's going to cover. Obviously, when Cannon first started, pre-Golan and Globus, they released a lot of movies that we really liked too. Like it was an exploitation studio back then, So not that it wasn't later, but it released a lot of like pure exploitation movies. So that'll be exciting to get into too. And then they bought Thorn EMI, and they released a lot of stuff on VHS. And then the companies after, once Cannon splits, Menahem's company, 21st Century, released a lot of stuff. They released a lot of Luigi Cozy stuff in the U.S., which is kind of cool. Cozy worked a lot for them. He was actually, this is the craziest fact I found out from my interview with Austin, Bill. Cozy was supposed to direct Life Force in the early 80s when the script was still Space Vampires.
How is that even possible?
That was going to be his movie, and then he ended up. He ended up doing Hercules instead, and then You have 1 second. I'll tell you this wild story. The second Hercules movie wasn't even supposed to be a Hercules movie. It was supposed to be reshoots for 7 Magnificent Gladiators, and they enjoyed the first Hercules so much they wanted to make a sequel. So they kept adding scenes to 7 Magnificent Gladiators. The entire crew knew that they were shooting a new movie, except for Lou Ferrigno and his wife. They were all told not to tell him that they were making a new movie. So it wasn't until like 4 or 5 years later that Lou found out that he had made 2 Hercules movies.
That is unscrupulous.
So that is canon. That's how
those business practices are not to be emulated.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what? I found something that I forgot to show in the first segment when we were looking at ads for Let Sleeping Corpses Lie, etc., etc. Look at this. It's
wow.
It joined Enter the Dragon at the Astor. I forget what city this is, but it replaced Superfly on this program. So you got to see Enter the Dragon and The Breakfast at the Manchester Morgue on the same bill. This was a sneak preview too. So I'm gonna have to dig up what year this is. This was 75.
Wow.
So see,
I love it.
Yeah, this was from Boston, September 1975. And Boston was one of the 3 or 4 cities where it did play as Breakfast at Manchester Morgue.
And then Boston actually has a surprisingly, I never realized this until one of my products got launched there, but Boston has one of the largest Asian populations in the U.S.
Yeah.
So that's like makes sense that not that Enter the Dragon didn't play everywhere, but it would have been a much bigger movie there than obviously it was in other cities. So interesting. Man, I love movies. I love films. Let's see what will be. I don't know what's going to be next. I'm going to look and see what I'm going to watch on Tubi.
That's why we do what we do, right?
It is. And I'm excited that so many people are still here, and I'm excited for next week too. And we have a couple weeks planned out, but can't playing our cards. Would you? I want to have some surprises for people, right?
Yeah, we already gave away Austin being on the show, so
yeah. I mean,
that's all you get for this program. You have to come back next week to find out more.
Yeah, I'm excited though because if you think that I drop crazy facts about canon, like his knowledge is like insane of stuff, and he's actually gotten to talk to. He spoke to Wings Hauser for like 4 hours a couple weeks ago, and got some crazy Wings Hauser stories that are in the new book, and he told me a couple of them, and like wow, like Wings Hauser's character in Vice Squad is not much different than Wings Hauser. So
that's frightening.
Yeah, he said it was really good. He's a very nice guy, but he's like he has some frightening stories.
Yeah, Hallmark was based out of Boston, and Darren says they owned the Astor, so that makes sense.
That's one of the things that was crazy is that Canon had bought a ton of theaters, and which is one of the reasons they went out of business. They bought a ton of theaters throughout England and Europe, and that's why they did their Canon kids films, because they hated Disney so much at that point that they didn't want to show any Disney films in their theater. So they made their own kids movies that they would have something to show during the day.
Next weekend on the Drive-In Asylum Late Movie, next Saturday, 11 p.m., we are doing
The Howling 2.
Right.
AKA Your Sister is a Werewolf. AKA what? Serba Bitch? I can't remember the other title.
Serba, Werewolf Bitch.
Yes, exactly. Hey, speaking of, if you guys are looking for something to watch, Tubi's got so much shit right now.
Okay, 1 or 2 things, and then we gotta go.
I'm sorry. I get excited, Bill. I don't get to talk about movies. I mean, I do every day.
Falling asleep, so we have to wrap this
up.
No,
that's cool. Okay, Last House on Dead End Street's on there again, and Carrot Red Within is on there.
Get out! It's on Tubi.
It's on Tubi. It just went up this week.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's kind of exciting.
I'm gonna have to go check out what the quality of their print is, although I'm sure it sucks, just like all the other ones.
Wait, I can hit play real quick and spoil it for you if you want.
Yeah.
All right. This is a real life experiment. I'm gonna say it's probably not good because the picture was blurry with of the sample.
I think the only version of that exists is struck from a VHS dupe.
It looks like a VHS. The first ad's playing, so and I don't want to keep everybody up all night, but
let's go with that. Thanks to our special guest, Uncle Spooky, for joining us, especially on such late notice. That was a nice surprise.
It was a super nice surprise. I love when he's on, and
yeah, me too.
I'm glad that he picked Damnation Alley because it gives us something to laugh about every time, right?
Yeah, it's a test to see how bad the movies will get on here, or how much people won't like them, I guess I should say.
Well, Bill, bad news, the print that is on Tubi is really rough looking, and the font for the Tarot Road Within literally looks like an Asian font. I've never seen that font on the beginning of it.
Wow, now I'm gonna go check it out.
Yeah, it's really it looks like it would be on an old Mill Creek 50 pack. That's the quality that it is.
Is it a title card cut in, or is it superimposed over the scene?
It literally, it may be the same one. I just don't remember it looking this rough. Like
They put the title over that long shot of her checking her mail in the student union.
Yeah, but it's. I don't remember it being that red, and like it doesn't match anything else. But I know you've seen it a lot more than me, so perhaps it is the same, and I'm just like not thinking straight. So.
All right. So join us next weekend, 11 p.m. next Saturday. Good night, Sam.
Good night, Bill.
Nice to hang out with all of you tonight. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next week. Be safe, be well. Come back. Watch more movies.
Under 17 not admitted without parents or guardian. Under 17 not admitted without parents or guardian.